Hey, boys and girls. Today, it's Mr. Mac. Today, we're going to be working on Module 15, Lesson 4, which is multiplying decimals by whole numbers, but showing a couple different strategies, right? So we've learned how to do regular multiplication without decimals. We're going to get to multiplying them with decimals. Today, we're working on the distributive property, the partial products, and also the area model. So I'm just using my whiteboard today because there's a lot to cover and I don't feel like flipping through all the pages. If we're talking about the distributive property, right, we're talking about decomposing, breaking down our number here. So we have 3 and 2/10. So 3 and 2/10 would really be equal to 3 plus 2/10, right? And we will be multiplying by that by 8. When you're doing the distributive property, you're going to distribute this multiplied by 8 to everything on the inside. That is what we're doing with the distributive property. So this would be equal to saying 3 times 8, and it would also be the same as saying 2/10 times 8. Okay, so now when we're solving this problem, we would say 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, and then 2/10, if I have 8 of them, that means I have 16 of the tenths, which would regroup to equal 1 and 6/10. So 24 plus 1 is 25, and then my 6/10 is left over, so my answer would be 26/10. Now, 25 and 6/10 is going to be the answer to everything we do here. It's just going to be shown differently. Okay, so I'm going to show the next example, which is the partial products. Partial products is the same thing. We usually write partial products, and let me just draw a little line over top of this. Partial products is usually 3 and 2/10 times 8, where we write it this way. Oops, let me undo that and clean that up a little bit. Okay, times 8. All right, 8 times 2/10 is 16/10, which is 1 and 6/10. And then 8 times 3 is 24. It's the same exact idea as we did before, except it's just written a little bit differently. Okay. Now, when we do the regular multiplication, it looks a little bit different than this. Okay. But it's very similar idea because this is multiplying by the tenths, and this is multiplying by the wholes here. All right. So partial products are just breaking the numbers apart, just like we did in the distributive property, and making sure that you're multiplying that 8 by everything that is on the top, the 2/10, and by the 3 wholes. Right. The area model is the one that gets a little bit different, but it's still the same idea. Your area model, we've learned the area is length times width. So we have 3 and 2/10 times 8. So we're going to draw a rectangle. Okay, and we're going to break this top part into 2 sections because we're going to have 3 holes here, and we're going to have 2/10 over here. Okay, we have 8 holes that we need to multiply that by. So to find the area, you do length times width. So for this one, you're doing 8 times 3 because that's the length and the width of this box, which is going to be 24. And then this is an 8, right, because it's across from here and they're equal. So this is an 8 and this is a 2/10. So then for this one, you would do 8 times 2/10, which is equal to 16/10, which is 1 and 6/10. And then you add them together, you get 25 and 6/10. So it's just 3 different ways to show you when you're multiplying a decimal by a single digit whole number how you could do this. Distributive property, partial products, and the area model. Hope this helps you out with Module 15, Lesson 4. And you'll see this maybe on the next lesson as well. All right. Good luck, guys. Take care.